We have a developing news here on this leak investigation that reaches the highest levels of the U.S. military. Retired Marine General James, known as Hoss Cartwright, a former vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the second highest ranking official in the U.S. military, is now the target of an investigation into leaks involving top secret cyber attacks on Iran. National security correspondent Jennifer Griffin joins me now live. She's at the Pentagon. Big story this afternoon. Hey, Jennifer.
Hi, Martha. Well, a senior U.S. official confirms to Fox News that the Justice Department has been investigating General James Cartwright for more than a year. They are investigating whether he is the source of a leak to New York Times reporter David Sanger, who reported first on the classified Stuxnet program. Details appeared in his book, Confront and Conceal Obama's Secret Wars and the Surprising Use of American Power. The New York Times published an excerpt from the book on June 1st of last year under the title, Obama Orders Sped Up Wave of Cyber Attacks Against Iran. The report was published 5 months before the U.S. presidential election. It revealed details about the administration's role in this secret attack on Iran's nuclear program using the Stuxnet virus, which sources told Times reporter David Sanger was crafted by the NSA along with Israeli computer scientists and inserted using thumb drives into systems that then spread the virus to Iran's centrifuges at its uranium enrichment facility at Natanz, knocking thousands of those centrifuges offline. General Cartwright was described in the article as an architect of the program and frequently briefed the White House on it. The White House cooperated with the Sanger book. Sanger includes quotes from Oval Office meetings, leading some Republicans at the time to demand an investigation, accusing the president's own national security team of being the source of the leaks in an effort to bolster the president's image as having been tough on Iran.
The notion that my White House would purposely release classified national security information is offensive. It's wrong, and people, I think, need to have a better sense of how I approach this office and how the people around me here approach this office.
What's surprising is that the investigation would end up targeting the general who was known to be the president's favorite, Martha.
Indeed it is. Jennifer, thank you very much. So joining me now is Pete Hegseth, a veteran of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and CEO of Concerned Veterans for America. Pete, welcome. Good to have you here. What do you make of this?
Well, I talked to a highly placed general officer who's familiar with General Cartwright, has respect for him, but also remembers him as someone who hewed very closely to the White House line, sometimes against commanders in the field. So while he was very surprised that it would come back to him because of the serious nature of this virus and what it did to our programs against Iran, he wasn't necessarily surprised that it could have gone back to Cartwright because he was one of Obama's favorites. He was one that oftentimes tried to bolster the image of this administration, not to indict him, but I think in this case he may have talked to David Sanger to sort of play up what the administration was doing with American power behind the scenes, and in doing so gave away some classified information that had huge ramifications.
Yeah, talk about those huge ramifications, because it sounds like a great idea, right? It's right out of a spy novel. If you can get into, it's been so difficult to curb the progress of Iran's nuclear program. If you can get in and mess with their computer system, knock thousands of centrifuges offline, that's something that, I think people would see as an intelligence and military success.
It's a huge success.
But what did we lose in revealing it?
Well, it's sources and methods.
Yeah.
Anytime you reveal sources of your information or methods, you're compromising national security. In this particular case, secret methods of cyber attacks we were committing against these Iranian facilities, which were being very effective in delaying the Iranians. They didn't know where they were coming from. There was a lot of confusion about why it was happening or not happening. The minute you reveal it, they know how to protect against it. They know where it's coming from. It clarifies a lot of it. And it's a way we could have prevented a nuclear bomb in Iran through non-military means, which is what we all want eventually.
It'd be a beautiful thing, right? So when you look at Cartwright, and as you point out, if indeed he was favorable to the administration, is this an exercise in sort of clearing the administration, exonerating them of anything? If they say, look, this is your guy. We think he might have been the one who talked to the reporter.
Well, Martha, if the president clipped there, he was very careful in saying, my White House, the White House wouldn't leak this. Well, technically speaking, the former vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs is not part of his White House. That's the Pentagon, someone else. So there was a lot of CYA, if you will, at that point to make sure there was some technicality being played. But yeah, they can distance themselves in this particular case, saying it was a general who got a little too lippy with a reporter. Probably the intentions were good to support the administration, but there was a political lining there, which shouldn't be a consideration for a general charged purely with securing our nation, not with making a president look good. You want to support a commander-in-chief, but there should never be a political tinge to that motivation.
It's an incredible story. Pete, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.